Hello. This feels like a very weird sort of welcome back video, but you've been seeing me. But I haven't been seeing you. I am 4 months postpartum today as I'm filming this. I had a baby girl in July and I haven't made a YouTube video in like 8 months. So this feels really good and I feel ready and happy and at peace. And I think this may be probably one of the most important videos I've ever made. And I truthfully was a little torn on making it because I have learned there is a lot of judgment on moms and what you should and shouldn't be doing. And as much as I don't really care. I also am in postpartum period and I can feel that I'm maybe a little more sensitive and I'm not going to say sensitive actually. Screw that. I am probably the strongest I've ever been. I brought a human into this world, so F that noise. No, not sensitive, but just like soft. I'm softer emotionally than I have been in the past. And I'm just protecting my heart and my head so that I can be, very present and peaceful with my family. But at the same time, what I'm going to share in this video, I feel for me overrides any of that. And I think that you or someone you know needs to probably hear this. And if there's one person who needs to hear this, then it's very worth it. And it is the video that I wish that I saw when I was pregnant and in those early days of motherhood. And I'm still in the early days, but definitely feels like things are becoming slightly more normal-ish now. So why am I making this video? Well, first of all, I had a baby girl and having a daughter has done something to me in terms of feeling just this fuel to make sure that she knows that she contains multitudes, as do I. And when I was pregnant, I noticed something really interesting. I noticed that I would get really contradictory questions and thoughts from people, unsolicited. It would be a lot of, well, aren't you worried your business is going to break if you take time off? How are you possibly going to manage being a mom and a business owner? And then also things like, well, you're only going to take 12 weeks of mat leave? What are you, crazy? That's not enough time. But also, you should probably get back to work pretty quickly because you don't want to lose momentum. Which one is it? I'm confused. As are you, I believe. And so I think that making this video and showing up is my way of saying to myself when I was pregnant that like, it's not as scary as you think it's going to be. Is it the hardest effing thing I've ever done in my life? Hands down. 100%. Whew. Hard. So hard. So many days crying. So many days. And so many emotions. It's the best of the best and the worst of the worst. I don't know how else to put it. And it's just kind of like this crazy of a new reality and a new normal. And I knew for myself that it was really important for me in the postpartum period to not only, of course, care for my sweet little baby, but also to care for me and to take that space to care for my body in a way that would allow me to feel my best and to feel healthy again. Because I literally can go for a walk for more than 5 minutes postpartum in that first month. There's things that they don't tell you, like you're bleeding for 6 weeks. You feel like you have a freaking dumbbell down there. It's a wild experience and also incredible. Like the human body is wild. So I knew I needed to take space and I knew I wanted to do that. And I also know that I love what I do for work. And I knew that I wanted to integrate both, but I never really felt like there was anything available to me to say, yes, you can do that. It sort of was like, nope, you got to choose one or the other. And I just think being kind of on the other side of this now, being a mom now, and very slowly integrating myself back into work, I just think it's convenient, real convenient to have that narrative for moms to say, to make them feel scared, to question how they're going to do both. I think it's a problem. And I wanted you to see that I'm not doing it perfectly. I don't have it nailed by any means, and I'm 4 months postpartum, so I'm not an expert, but I think it's important to share that like I am doing both. And I feel really good. And I'm really grateful to do both. And also, being a mom is the hardest job in the world. And so I just think it's insane that the narrative is really you're either like this super successful ice queen loner woman if you run a business or you're dedicated to your career, or you're like unfairly undervalued and kind of like unfairly forgotten if you choose not to work, which is just ridiculous. Like whatever path you choose or you don't choose, because you sometimes can't choose. Maybe you have to work. A lot of women have to work. They don't have a choice. They don't have more than a week to take off of work or a few days, which is honestly inhumane. Now having gone through it and fully understanding it, inhumane. But some women don't have a choice, and some women don't have a choice to not work. Circumstantially, it just doesn't make sense. They need to stay at home. So whatever path it is, it's hard. Long story short. And you deserve a medal and a pedestal. But I wanted to make this to say that I am doing both. I am just starting to reintegrate back into work. I took my sweet, sweet time. And I think that boggles people's minds a little bit because I do run my own business. And they're like, but how are you taking time off? And I guess it goes back to what I always say, which is like, if you can't take time off from your business, do you really have a business or do you have a job? And that's a hard truth that even I had to really face when I was taking the time off. I had to really look at things and go, you know, I talk about legacy businesses. I help people create legacy business. So if you were, God forbid, to die tomorrow, your business could still make an impact and an income without you. And that's what I really had to practice what I preach when I went on my mat leave and as I was preparing for it. And I really recognized that the business structure I've created allows for me to do that. And it is what I help people do. I help them detach their time from their income. If you don't know what I do and you're new here, I help people package their expertise into online programs that are super impactful and scalable. So I was able to take months. I took months off from work, although I just got, like the way that I say that, we just need to correct that because it's not months off from work. I was working more than I've ever worked in my entire life, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, with my baby. And so it is the furthest thing from a vacation. It is hard. I'm not just saying this to scare somebody, but I wish somebody was that honest with me. Nobody really told me the real hard truth. Hardest, best thing ever. Just, that's the only way to describe it. And so I took the time to be present completely, did not check in with work for months. And yet the business ran like clockwork. We got incredible client results while I was gone, and we generated multiple 7 figures in the time frame of me being gone. And that is proof that it is incredibly possible. And even for myself, it was wow, I know what I do works, but I am now proof of that being something that works. And this is a long game. I've been planning this for a very, very long time to ideally be able to start a family when my business is at a place where I could do this. But we also work with so many people that are coming in when they're just about to take their mat leave and they're I don't want to go back to my job and I'm really good at what I do and I know I want to create something for myself. And I think the biggest answer to inequity and not even smashing the glass ceiling, but also just not even having a ceiling is entrepreneurship. And I'm not saying everybody's cut out to be an entrepreneur, but I think if you are maybe pregnant or you're thinking about starting a family one day, or you're just sick of not having any space in your life for the things that you maybe enjoy doing or want to do more of, I think it's important to know that there is a way to do it. I just don't think it's made very popularized, or if it is, it sounds like it's too good to be true or some sort of scam. And I'm not saying that this isn't also a very real business. I have a team at this point, but I did start as a one-woman show, and I've made all the mistakes in the book. But I knew, okay, one day I want to start a family, and I would like my business to be at a place where I can really take a step back. And so I think it's important to share like a few of the things that I did to make sure that that could happen. So one is creating this like scalable structure. So I have an online program, and that is my asset. So really I took my brain and I took my method to help people create business models that detach their time from their income, and I put it in a step-by-step plan. And that can live in a curriculum that people can study all over the world. We have clients in 47 countries without me being actively involved. My brain is in that program. They don't need to get on a call with me to go through every step of that process. And that would honestly be kind of silly, because the process is applicable and duplicatable to each person we work with. And then we have structured support. So yeah, we do talk to people and we're able to help them past hurdles, but they have what they need to get the result in that curriculum. So scalable structure, team. And I know that not everybody has a team or is at a place where they're able to hire a team, but like my team, we're Swiss Army knives, and that's really important. And knowing that every person is very clear in their expectations and their performance metrics, and that they know what they're there to do, and that I know what I'm there to do. So nobody's stepping on anybody's toes, but at the same time, we can all hop in for one another. I have a small team. It's a tiny but mighty team. But it's set up to support one another and to support a structure that allows freedom and peace for each person in the business. We are an anti-burnout space. We really value our freedom and our peace, while also just doing really good work with people that we want to work with. So that's a really important thing to understand, is like you can have a scalable structure so you're not trading time for money, and you don't have to be physically present for your business to make an impact on people. You can create a support structure around you once you get to a place where you're scalable, because then you actually have the income to be able to reinvest back into the business to create that support. And also, like, I have never been more thoughtful and intentional in how I use my time than when I was pregnant and now being a new mom. Like, I will not do things I don't want to do, and I will not do things that aren't absolutely freaking 100% necessary to sustaining the business or to our end goal of the business, to our mission of the business. If it's not necessary, it's a no for me. So I plan out my year, then my quarters, then my months, then my weeks, then my days. I plan out my priorities that way. And I don't plan out to-do lists. I just have priorities. And there aren't that many priorities when you keep things simple in your business. And we've been able to scale to a very healthy place in our business, multiple 8 figures, by doing it that way. And I say all this, and I recognize like I am in a very privileged position. I fully am aware of that. But I also say it because I really do believe that entrepreneurship is the answer to inequity. And it's really interesting in the time and space that we're living in that it's not what it used to be. I think when we used to think of entrepreneurship, it was like you needed capital, you needed financing, you needed all these things. Like, you don't need those things to start a lot of businesses today. The online world has created a lot more equity for people in starting businesses where you don't need that. If you have a skill set or an expertise, you can start a business and generate cash flow and have super ridiculously high profit margins and create a major impact on a global scale, because there are no limits. And so I hope that this helps you understand that, like, it is possible as a mom to feel really excited about multiple things, and it's okay to. I almost feel like that's controversial to say, because I feel like I'm meant to be like, oh no, I'm only going to focus on my family, or no, I'm only going to focus on my business, or whatever that may be. And I feel like it's also like kind of like, ooh, you're taking care of yourself as a new mom? What? Like, it's almost offensive. And I just think it shouldn't be. Like, if I am not okay, and it is very easy to not be okay during the postpartum period, and I wasn't on many days, how am I going to feel human and feel seen and feel like myself, which I think is really important. I am a whole human. You are a whole human. And that's a beautiful thing. And it's okay to have all of these different multitudes living amongst each other, and it's doable. And I just kind of wish there was more visibility of that it is doable. So I hope that you take from this, that you can be a mom and have more in your life and more to you than being a mom and not feel bad about it. And I know I'm only 4 months into this, but I don't know if that's ever going to change for me. And it was very much so the case when I was pregnant. And that's why I would get so frustrated and why I felt so anxious, because I was like, I really was like, how am I going to do this? And I've talked to so many people that are thinking the same thing. They're like, how do you do it? How do you do both? Is it possible? Because it doesn't feel like it's possible. Nobody's telling me it's possible, even though there's so many people in the world who are doing both. But it's just, again, it's kind of convenient that there's a lack of visibility into doing both. And it's success for me at this point has never been more true to say that success is living in alignment with your values. I don't look like or represent what I think, even in my head and some still like really effed up societal beliefs, I don't look like what success looks like. I'm currently in my room. My husband and I, this is our bed. I'm sitting on the floor in my Lululemons, and I may or may not have showered today, who knows? But I'm running this business that's having this big impact and, supports a team of people all over the world, and we have clients all over the world. So success looks like whatever the hell you want it to look like. And your life and your business look like whatever the hell you want them to look like. Does it take a lot of hard work? Absolutely. Do you need to go on a specific timeline? No. I think I just wanted to share this, that whether it's a year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, 4 years from now, that you don't feel like I felt when I was pregnant. And I am somebody who runs a business and has been for a long, long time. And I know what it takes to run a successful business. And I knew I could do this, but I still felt like this is impossible because the noise was getting to me. And it's easy to let it get to you because, again, it's convenient. It's convenient to question a mother or mother-to-be and make her doubt herself. And I want you to know, you don't need to doubt yourself. It's going to be the hardest effing thing you've ever done, the best thing you've ever done, and you, as a whole human, are worthy of doing it in your way, however that looks, and at your own pace, however that looks. So whatever your circumstances are, my hope is that this just gives you like a little drop, a little seed of possibility. That's my hope. If you are pregnant or you're about to, embark on your postpartum journey, I'd love to hear from you. Or maybe if you've been there and done that and you are somebody who's been able to integrate all of them, like please share in the comments. We need more of that. I needed it. Still need it. So yeah, this is a no judgment zone. And I just have such a deep, deep, deep respect. I always have, but a deep, deep, deep respect now. Even more so for mamas. Yeah. If you know, you know. Mamas and women who you've been trying to get pregnant and maybe it's not happening. To go through either of those, the mental fortitude that takes, my friend, you can do it all. You can take that on, you can tackle that, you can do it all. You can. It's gonna be hard and it's maybe not gonna go the way you think it's gonna go or in the timeline that you think it's gonna go in, but it's possible. And again, that's all I wanted to do with this video. So I am officially back. And I just wanted to share that with you. That was what was on my heart and mind since coming back from my mat leave and integrating again. And I hope it resonated with you. I'm happy to see you. So much love.